You can believe in a border without being a racist. You can believe in the country without being a racist. And this just shows how desperate this guy is for political power. I know you've been in office for 20 years, Tim, and I know it's a sweet gig, but you're so desperate not to have a real job that you'll slander me and slander my family. It's disgraceful.
All right, guys, so once again, we got to talk about political debate. This time, the Ohio Senate race between Republican DJ Vance and Democrat Tim Ryan. And I want to talk about a specific segment of this debate in which DJ Vance goes off on Tim Ryan after Tim Ryan accuses DJ Vance of peddling the so-called Great Replacement Theory, which is basically what the Democrats accuse the Republicans of if they don't support the Democrats' open border policies. And I'm going to prove to you guys that that's exactly what the Democrats mean when they accuse people of believing or peddling the so-called Great Replacement Theory. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and play this clip of DJ Vance going off on Tim Ryan after being accused of being racist for simply believing in having strong borders. Take a look.
Congressman, what is your opinion of the Great Replacement Theory?
I think it's nonsense. I think it is grounded in some of the most racially divisive writings in the history of the world. And this is who he's running around with, talking about replacement theory. There's no big grand conspiracy. This is a country who's been enriched by immigrants from all quarters of the world. There's no, in the problem,
it's shameful
the
for you to
danger,
accuse me of that, given my family, Tim. It's shameful for you to accuse me of that.
My turn, pal. My turn.
Oh, buddy, your turn.
My turn.
What you said, I'm your guy, right?
This great replacement theory was the motivator for the shooting in Buffalo.
Yes.
Where that shooter had all these great replacement theory writings that J.D. Vance agrees with. Some sicko got this information that he's peddling with, again, those extremists that he runs around with, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ted Cruz, all these guys, they just want to stoke this racial violence. We're tired of it, J.D. We have hold on, J.D. Stop interrupting me.
This is disgusting.
I'd like to get
here's exactly what happens when the media and people like Tim Ryan accuse me of engaging in the Great Replacement Theory. I'll tell you exactly what happens, Tim. What happens is that my own children, my biracial children, get attacked by scumbags online and in person because you are so desperate for political power that you'll accuse me, the father of 3 beautiful biracial babies, of engaging in racism. We are sick of it. You can believe in a border without being a racist. You can believe in the country without being a racist. And this just shows how desperate this guy is for political power. I know you've been in office for 20 years, Tim, and I know it's a sweet gig, but you're so desperate not to have a real job that you'll slander me and slander my family. It's disgraceful.
Thank you, Mr. Vance.
Hold on, Derek.
Real quick,
I think
we got to get one more question in.
I think I struck a nerve with this guy.
You absolutely struck a nerve. It's normal people, Tim Ryan,
JD,
when you insult their families, you strike a nerve with normal people.
I would never talk about your family, JD. I wasn't raised that way. I would never talk about your family. So don't try to spin this because you don't want to talk about the fact that you're with the extremists, and that belief, which is grounded, going back decades, led to some crazy dude getting a gun and going to a black grocery store.
It's disgusting, and I've never endorsed it. It's disgusting.
You talk about it, and you're running around. You're running around with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
To believe in a border, Tim Ryan thinks that you endorse the Great Replacement Theory. It's unbelievable. This is what you do. You join Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, calling your own people racist for daring to believe in a border in their own country. This is the game that he plays.
All right,
thank you. I hope you feel better, JD.
Let's refocus.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I want to say this. The way DJ Vance handled those silly accusations from Tim Ryan is exactly how every single Republican should act when being accused of racism without any evidence whatsoever from a Democrat. And in this case right here, guys, this is particularly disgusting from Tim Ryan for various reasons. Because, one, he's trying to say that anybody who believes in strong borders, aka that disagrees with Democrats on how they're handling the border, is for Great Replacement Theory. And I'm going to prove it to you because Tim Ryan did a fact check after the debate to prove that DJ Vance does, in fact, believe in the Great Replacement Theory. And I want you guys to take a look at this ad that is supposed to prove this. Take a look.
The Buffalo shooting has the nation spotlighting the idea of the great replacement theory. It's a theory investigators believe played a role in the motive behind the Buffalo shooting.
We have an invasion in this country because very powerful people get richer and more powerful because of it. It's not bad policy, it's evil, and we need to call it that.
Ohio's Republican Senator Rob Portman is at odds with the Republican candidate who wants to replace him, J.D. Vance, on at least one issue, the so-called Great Replacement Theory.
We have an invasion in this country. We have an invasion in this.
So I want y'all to understand the games of the Democrat Party here, right? Saying that we have an invasion at the border, which is a fact, okay? We have more people crossing the border than ever. We have a record number of migrants entering this country illegally under the Biden administration of Democrats. Saying that, plus saying that, well, there are very powerful people in this country that stand to benefit from this, which is also a fact. The Democrat Party benefits from it, and big corporate America benefits from it through cheap labor, right? I mean, this is a fact that everybody knows. Saying those two things, stating facts, apparently is hate speech, right? That's hate speech. That is peddling the great replacement theory, right? And this is, again, the game that Democrats play that really pisses me off. It bothers me because what they're doing is that they're taking a tragic situation like what happened in Buffalo, where you have innocent, mainly black people, right? I think at least one person, white person got shot and killed. But where you have mainly black people that got slaughtered by a radical extremist whom, said that, great replacement theory was a part of his reasoning, but he doesn't watch Fox News. He doesn't watch Tucker Carlson. He doesn't get his influence with Fox News. He actually stated that he's not a conservative, but for whatever reason, the Democrats are trying to link this guy and his actions with Republicans and their rhetoric when the guy told us, I'm not influenced by Republicans, right? I'm not influenced by Fox News. I don't watch Fox News. I'm not conservative. But the Democrats say, oh, you're automatically linked to that guy because he was a white supremacist and because of the great replacement theory, which you're peddling. When the reality is that the Democrats and the mainstream liberal media, they peddle the so-called great replacement theory all the time. The only difference is that they don't call it the great replacement theory. They call it diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then they celebrate it, right? They celebrate it. Again, they say this stuff all the time on mainstream liberal media about how it's good that America is becoming less white, how much they don't like whiteness, how bad whiteness is. They say it all the time. So I would argue that this guy, right, if we're going to bring in the Buffalo shooter into this, I would argue that he probably most likely was influenced by listening to the things that he heard on mainstream liberal media than he heard on Fox News. And this guy wants to talk about extremist rhetoric, right? We can go there with the extremist rhetoric stuff, because this guy said the most extreme thing that I've heard from a politician in a long time on the extremist network of MSNBC, which, again, in my opinion, is basically sponsoring political violence against the GOP by having people like this guy on his network, Tim Ryan, that openly said on the network with no pushback whatsoever, quote, we must kill and confront the MAGA movement. He actually was confronted about that at the first Ohio Senate debate. Take a look.
The Democrats aren't right on everything, and I'm willing to sit down and have conversations about how we can move out of this age of stupidity and into an age of reconciliation and reform. How do we fix all of these broken systems? Some of those answers will come from Republicans. It's not the extremists that we're dealing with every single day. We've got to kill and confront that movement. But working with normal mainstream Republicans, I think that's going to be really, really important, because we have to reform these systems. And I will tell them, too, like, we got to get the government out of our business. I'm all in on that. You see the Dobbs decision. You see, in Florida.
Americans need to, quote, kill and confront the extremist movement within the GOP. In the past, you've condemned Donald Trump's rhetoric as having the possibility to incite violence. Is that similar language that you once condemned?
Movement. Kill and confront the extremist movement, of which J.D. Vance, unfortunately, is a part of.
Again, I want you guys to think with your common sense here, right? He says, well, I said the word movement, and J.D. Vance is a part of that movement. Well, how do you kill a movement? How do you kill a movement that is run by people? How do you kill that? You guys can think about what he probably actually means. The most common interpretation of what he's trying to say there, which again is wrong, right? What he's saying is 100% wrong. And we've had people lose their lives because of this kind of rhetoric, okay? We don't have to extrapolate that this is where they got it from. No. We know where they got it from. I did a story about a guy whom ran over a young man because he thought that the young man was a Republican extremist, right? Thought he was a Republican extremist and ran him over, chased him down and ran him over, killed him because of his political views. You had Lee Zeldin, who was running for governor against dictator Hochul in New York. Somebody almost tried to stab the guy at a campaign event. Went up on stage and almost tried to stab him. You've had people issue gruesome death threats to people like Ted Cruz over the so-called great voter suppression theory, right? That the Democrats love to push, right? This idea that black people's votes are being suppressed deliberately by the GOP. Look at the assassination attempt that we had from a progressive, woke, Democratic extremist on a Supreme Court justice. We had that happen. And even Democrats have been a victim of their own extremist conspiracies that they push. For example, with the BLM assassin, the guy that tried to assassinate the Democrat mayor candidate out in Louisville, Kentucky. You guys remember that story? Well, why was this guy doing that, right? He was doing it for political reasons. He was doing it because he was radicalized by the progressive left in their rhetoric. That's why he did it. So Democrats push their own conspiracies. Democrats come out here and openly call for violence against Republicans on MSNBC. They never push back, but yet they want to try to lecture other people on irresponsible rhetoric and political violence when you see most of the political violence. I would say a vast majority of it, at least 70, 80, 90% of it is coming from the left. Most of the political violence in this country is coming from the left. It is left-wing extremists that are upset because they're not getting their way, that decide they want to protest and riot in the street. That's what most of the political violence in this country is coming from. So don't lecture me about what is and what's not dangerous rhetoric when you're openly saying that we must kill and confront a movement because of their political beliefs, right? And you're talking about at least 30, 40, 50% of the country. Again, I haven't heard any Republican say anything that extreme about a whole group of people. And he got no pushback whatsoever from MSNBC. If a Republican said that, we all know what they would be saying, right? We all know what they would be saying. They'd be going crazy. Well, what does he actually mean? What does he mean by that? He's calling for political violence. We all know exactly how they would be treated. But like I said, kudos to DJ Vance for the way he handled this because, again, it's so disgusting for the Democrats to use the Buffalo shooting incident, right, that tragedy, to try to somehow, some way connect that to Republicans and being for strong borders, right? Simply stating facts about the borders and who stands to benefit from Biden's open border policies. Again, facts are not hate speech, right? That's something I cannot stress enough nowadays because it seems like, again, facts have become a form of hate speech when the facts don't agree with the Democrat agenda. It really bothers me. It really does. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.